Hi guys, happy Sunday. It is Mother's Day, so I hope that you have taken a minute today to go say happy Mother's Day to a mom in your life. Doesn't have to be your mom. It could be a stepmom, an aunt, a grandma, a foster mom, a friend's mom, anyone in your life who is a mom that you know does so much for you or people in your life. Just go say a little thanks. Say a little happy Mother's Day. This video is going to serve as your week 5 update for BC First Peoples. We've got a couple different things on the agenda to talk about. So let's get started. So as per usual, I will hop on to Scalantis. So again, logging on to start.sc69.bc.ca and then going to our class page. My computer is really slow today, so I don't know how successful this video is going to be. There we go, BC First Peoples 12, semester 2. First thing, want to remind you guys, weekly check-ins are tomorrow. So Monday morning, if you haven't already signed up for one, please do. It's a good chance for me to talk about what you're doing in the course right now, what you're working on, what you need to be working on, etc. So sign up for a weekly check-in. We are at Monday, May the 12th. Wow. There's a few of you who have already signed up, but quite a few of you who haven't. So please do sign up for that. It's really important. We're getting into kind of crunch time in the course where there's a lot of you who still have quite a bit of work to do. And so I want to chat about that. So again, everybody should be signing up for a check-in, but if you're one of those people that kind of needs me to light a fire under their butts, sign up. Okay. The second thing we're going to talk about, let's get out of that Google Doc there, is, I still haven't figured out how to get rid of this screen. We're going to talk about the independent projects. So again, I told you at the beginning of this kind of COVID-19 world that you would be working on some independent projects that encapsulated the rest of the big ideas that we hadn't had a chance to cover yet so far together in class. And the first one that I assigned to you was the Indian Act project. So you listen to a podcast about the Indian Act, kind of its causes and consequences. There's some questions that you answered for that. And then you got to pick whether you wanted to write the Indian Act essay or the timeline assignment. And both of those things are on the Big Idea Independent Project under the assignment tab. So again, it just gives you a little blurb. I did a video here kind of introducing the Indian Act if you want to check that out. Then takes you to the podcast and then gives you your options for what you want to do. I talked to quite a few of you last week about this who were just getting started. The big thing to remember, guys, is to scroll down. That's kind of just like an abstract or a blurb of what the assignment is going to be about. But it's important that you also go through and check out all of these documents because you need to complete them as well. So if you're doing the essay, that's the essay outline. If you're doing the timeline, there's the timeline outline there. And then the podcast question sheets. So that was one that people were having a hard time finding. I upload them in order. They don't save on here in order. I don't know why. But the podcast questions are at the very bottom. And these questions are really important to fill out because they are going to provide you a lot of the information that you need to write your essay or do your timeline assignment. So you do have to submit whichever project you decide to do as well as those questions. So 2 parts to that submission. I have decided to extend the deadline for that project. Not that there was a hard deadline, but I'm going to push it till next week. Quite a few of you were getting caught up on some other stuff, and so I'm not going to assign a new independent project this week like I said I was. I want to give you an extra week to get that done. That's going to bring me to my next point, which is those of you who have outstanding work from before spring break, you have to get that into me. Your success in the course is fundamental and it rests on you completing all of the work that has been assigned from before spring break. if you can't submit that work, you can't demonstrate to me that you have done enough for the course in order for me to give you a passing grade at the end of all of this. So please do log on to Stellantis and get working on some of the stuff that you're missing. I'm still looking for some inquiry projects, a couple of regions projects, and then a few small assignments here or there. And don't forget, you can email me anytime to ask me about these projects. I'm here to help. But yeah, it's hugely important. So if you're having a hard time or you're not sure where to start, please send me an email. We can set up a time to work on it together, whether that's on the phone or on Zoom. It doesn't have to just be on Monday. We can make some time during the week as well. But yeah, please reach out to me if you need help getting started. I am always here for you. What else? This one's going to be quick. Oh, weekly discussion question coming at you. This one is kind of a cool one, because some of you raised this in the last week's discussion question, your answers. You said you think that the Indigenous reaction to COVID-19 stems from something bigger, and that maybe a lot of the trauma that's happening right now doesn't just connect to COVID-19. And that's a really awesome connection to make and something to notice, because it's not just COVID-19. It's this history of the way that pandemics affect Indigenous communities in our country. And again, it is a history that goes back pretty far. So this week, we're actually going to focus on the smallpox pandemic. So smallpox were brought to Canada before it was Canada. They were brought when Europeans came over and settled and colonized what we now know as Canada. And again, they brought lots of diseases with them that Indigenous communities had not been exposed to before, and therefore did not have immunities to. And so smallpox was absolutely catastrophic to Indigenous communities in Canada. Lots of, so many people died. Communities were completely wiped out, and this actually was really prevalent along the West Coast and in British Columbia. So this week, you're actually going to focus, I'm just going to pull it up here, I haven't posted it yet, but you are going to focus on the smallpox pandemic. So I give you a little bit of a blurb making that connection. And then, yeah, so you're going to be using social studies processes to assess the long-term and short-term causes and consequences of Indigenous concerns surrounding pandemics and diseases. Specifically, you're going to compare the COVID-19 pandemic to the smallpox pandemic. And again, I just give you a little blurb here. And then, so there's an article that I want you to read. It's not too long. And then a video that I want you to watch. The video is really, really good. It's really well done. But you're going to answer this question here. So how are the COVID-19 pandemic and the smallpox pandemic similar in terms of the impact on Indigenous communities in Canada? Yes, I recognize there's a typo there. No, I have not edited this yet. I will before I post it, I promise you. So again, how are they similar? How are they different? And how do you think the aftermath of the smallpox pandemic has impacted the way that First Peoples in Canada are responding and expressing concerns surrounding today's pandemic? So that's your question, and you can obviously use other sources as well to come up with your answers, but just keeping in mind that you do, if you are going to directly quote another source, you do need to be telling me where you got that information from. So that's going to go up on the discussion forum. So if I pull it up here on Stellantis, go discussion, and it will go up as the week 5 discussion question. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me this week, guys. Again, sign up for a check-in on Monday so we can chat about what you need to be working on. Independent projects, I'm going to give you an extra week to finish up the Indian Act before I assign anything else. And then, yeah, that discussion question, making the connection between the smallpox pandemic and the COVID-19 pandemic and the way that it has impacted Indigenous communities in Canada. If you have any questions, as always, send me an email, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.